One of the biggest problems plaguing the modern citizens of the internet is discovery. Now, it didn't have to be this way. The very first web browser, in fact, was both an HTML editor and a viewer. So you could create your content that you wanted to share with the world, and also view the content that other people had shared with you. It was a very mutually beneficial arrangement for everyone involved. But since then, as the internet has become a very commercial place, we've devolved into these silos where one company is trying to stranglehold all of the information in their silo and keep you from leaving the platform to others. Because the biggest thing for them is marketing, how much time you spend on the platform, not even what you're doing on the platform, just that you spend the time there to get that ad money. And spend time you do. So if you're like the 50% of my viewers that find my videos based on YouTube's recommendations, you're very dependent on YouTube to tell you about my content. And I don't like that because I want you to find content that you really enjoy from me and from other people that create content similar to me. And I want you to find content that you really like. And similarly, as a viewer, I want to find content that I really enjoy. Some of the creators that I watch regularly, you probably watch as well. So, to help encourage more natural and less algorithm-focused discovery, I'm sharing all of my bookmarks with you guys in a way that you can subscribe to. So what this means is every time I stumble across a video that I find very interesting, not even just a video, maybe a blog post, images, whatever I find on the internet, I can share it on my bookmarks list. And my hope is that you can do the same. And by following other people whose content you like and following the people that they like, it can help you expand your circles and find new creators you might not have found before. Now this ties into something called the Fediverse. So if you've heard of any of the new decentralized social media platforms, especially like Mastodon, Mastodon is based on a protocol called the ActivityPub protocol. And it's a way of sharing posts and content like this across dissimilar pieces of software. So Mastodon can share posts with other Mastodon servers. So there can be hundreds or thousands of Mastodon servers around the world, each with their own moderation team, policies, members, things like that. But they don't have to be posts. They could be things like images, if you're a fan of PixelFed, for example. They could be videos from PeerTube, or in my case, they're bookmarks. So if you're interested in joining this decentralized social media network so that you can follow my bookmarks, and also if you're interested in hosting bookmarks of your own, then come along on this adventure. So, what exactly is the Fediverse? And what is Mastodon? Well, if you've ever logged on to a Mastodon instance, you probably know it bears a sort of passing resemblance to the site formerly called Twitter, the dead bird site. But what's different about Mastodon from something like that is that Mastodon is not a site. They're not running a server. You're not logging into Mastodon when you log into a Mastodon instance. Mastodon is a piece of open source software which is capable of communicating with other instances of Mastodon or other software in the Fediverse. So when you log into Mastodon, you're logging into an instance that someone is choosing to run. And that instance controls your data, not some big overarching company that runs the whole network. So this is what my Mastodon page looks like. So you can see I'm Applard. I chose the instance called hachyderm.io. So you can see what they talk about here. They're a relatively big server, so they have 6,000 active users, which is great. You're welcome to come follow me here. But unlike other platforms, you don't have to create an account on Hachyderm to follow me on the Fediverse, because you can follow someone on the Fediverse from any Fediverse site. So you can create a Mastodon account on your favorite Mastodon instance and follow me on Hachyderm without any problems. And just like that, you can also follow other dissimilar software. So PixelFed, for example, is a photo sharing software for the Fediverse. PeerTube is a video sharing software for the Fediverse. And you can follow people's accounts on their PixelFed or on their PeerTube from your Mastodon. So this whole mesh thing of people you're following, people are following you, all of it's exchanged through the ActivityPub protocol, and it's very flexible. So that's the basis of Postmarks, the software I'm running. So if you go to my bookmark page, this is what you'll see. Applard's bookmarks, latest bookmarks, page 1 of 10. So I've got a bunch of things here that I've shared, and I shared a whole bunch of them on the first couple days, so there's probably maybe 100 bookmarks here now. So you can see the most recent videos I've shown. Some are videos, some are channels, some are documentaries, etc. But you can scroll through here and see if you can find stuff you like. But of course, since this is the Fediverse, I can browse my own bookmarks from Hachyderm. So I come over here, I already linked to it. So this is what it looks like from Hachyderm. So Hachyderm is rendering my Postmarks content within Mastodon. So I can scroll down and see the links I've shared. It's even doing a thumbnail here, YouTube channels, etc. And so I can scroll down and see these are my bookmarks as they will look for you on Mastodon. And of course, the Fediverse also supports sharing and boosting content across different platforms as well. So from my account on a Mastodon-based instance of Hachyderm, I can boost or like my content from Postmarks or other people's content from PixelFed or PeerTube or things like that. So this is not meant to be a tutorial on like which Mastodon instance you should choose, but I'll put some links in the description to help you out if you want to get started with Mastodon. You also don't have to use Mastodon to see my bookmarks. You're welcome to just browse the website as a normal website. And there's also an RSS feed if you want to subscribe to that too. Sorry for the mess. I got some other projects going on here. If you watch my recent live stream, you'll know what this is, but this is for a future video, current video, setting up Postmarks here on the server. So to start, I'm running in a Debian Trixie environment. So that's Debian 13, the latest release. This could be like a VPS if you want to host on a VPS. It could be an LXC container in Proxmox. Currently, Proxmox hasn't released their Debian 13 LXC container image, but you can take the version 12 image and just upgrade it by switching bookworm to Trixie in the sources.list file. That's what I did. So let's get started and install some software. I have a page on my website about this, so that's what we're following. And first off, we need to install some software. So we're going to need Node.js. Currently I'm running Node.js 18 for reasons. So we're going to install node sources repo, install Node.js, and also install Git. So I can just paste all that right in there and hit enter and let's go. And now we wait for Node.js to install all their BS. I seriously get irritated every time I deal with Node.js, but people still write apps in Node.js and they're good apps, so kind of have to deal with all this crap in the back end. Next up, we're going to actually install Postmarks itself. So before we actually install it, I'm going to create a new user to run it as, name him Mark. Then we're going to git clone Postmarks into a directory off of var. We're going to give ownership of that directory to Mark, and then we're going to run commands as Mark. Paste that right in, and let's go. Next, we're going to sudo as the user Mark, and we're going to run bash, so we get a shell as Mark. And there we go, now we're logged in as Mark. Next step is to create a file called .env. Here's the contents of my file. So we have the public URL of the site. We have an admin password that's for our admin account. We have a session password, which is different. Obviously, you're going to want to pick some good passwords for these two. And then I'm running it on port 3000 and I'm bound to localhost, so we'll just copy this guy over here and paste it in and save and exit. Next, we need to copy account.json.example into account.json and make our changes. So this is just going to be our username, our avatar, etc. Feel free to change this as you want. I'll just leave it as the default for now. And finally, we're going to run npm install, which will install a bunch of packages. And there it goes. It's installing a whole bunch of stuff, so yeah, whatever. And we can exit. So now to actually run the process, I'm using systemd. So I got a file here, and we'll just drop this into etc systemd system. Basically what this does is we're going to run npm run start out of the directory var postmarks, and we're going to run as user and group Mark. So that is our service permissions. And finally, we can start it up. So at this point, Postmarks is actually running, but it's bound to localhost. I actually made a change and a pull request to allow the option to bind to localhost or to bind to whatever you want. So I'm binding it to localhost, so my reverse proxy Caddy can talk to it using a localhost port instead of opening the internal port to everyone. So now let's set up Caddy. So similarly, I have Caddy instructions down here. We're going to start by installing Caddy according to Caddy's own instructions. We'll just copy and paste this guy in. And I have a Caddy file too, so let's go copy this guy in. Start by deleting the old Caddy file and then editing the new one. Obviously you put your own domain name here. If this is publicly accessible, you can use TLS and then an email address, but since I'm just doing this for testing, I'm using TLS internal. And restart Caddy. And of course it's not private, so we just ignore that. And there we go. So we've got the bookmarks that come with it. We can log in with our admin password and we're ready to go. So thanks for coming along on my little tour of the Fediverse here. Hopefully you guys enjoy my bookmark site. I'm really glad to share it with you guys. I'll probably go through over the next few weeks and add maybe little trinkets that I might have missed along the way. I've already gone through like the big bulk import, so you shouldn't see like a big spam like you did the first day if you were one of my first day subscribers. So thank you to those guys, 3 of you. If you like the Fediverse in general, also don't forget to follow me personally. I have a link down below for that. I'm on Hachyderm, of course, but you can follow me from any Fediverse instance. I also have a Discord server link down below for that as well if you want to chat with me personally. You can also chat with me on the Fediverse too, but Discord's a much more conversational oriented, like more ephemeral conversation versus long-term post, things like that. Discord has this place too. If you want to give me a tip, any donations are greatly appreciated to the channel. I have a link to Ko-fi down below for that, where you're welcome to donate. And I'll see you guys on the next adventure.